Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're talking about Pyramid Head's add-ons, and are they actually good? You know what I mean? Talking about this topic, as you can see by the little drawing on the left there. We're talking about Pyramid Head's add-ons, and just talking about all the criticisms that Pyramid Head gets. Now, just so you guys can kind of get a little bit of background, like I do main Ghostface, P100 Ghostface. I am a P100 Pyramid Head. I think he was the second killer I got P100 in this game, and I play him pretty frequently. I would say I actually mained him mainly on controller for a long time, and then as I got into PC, I started trying to practice a little bit with Pyramid Head on the mouse and keyboard. So I do have experience with both ends, and you know, at least I'm not like, you know, I'm not completely theory crafting here when I'm talking about Pyramid Head. We are actually going to be giving a little bit of some information, you know, as somebody who mains the character, and talking about add-ons, and try to, you know, give you guys a little bit more information as to what the heck that like this is about, right? And I also want to add on that I am a Silent Hill fan. Oh, Pyramid Head has no add-on variety. That is sort of the criticism that we hear a lot of. That is sort of the concept that we see a lot of. Is like Pyramid Head doesn't have any add-on variety for whatever reason, right? And it's like, if you're talking about maybe before the updates he's gotten, I would say yes, that is probably true. A lot of them sort of follow, you know, follow the suit where it doesn't necessarily, you know, follow the usual routine which you may see with other characters that maybe do have unique add-ons. But to say that there's no variety, I would disagree. I mean, he has at least recently we had gotten that brand new add-on like actually a long time ago. We had gotten that like sort of like we call it the Sloppy Butcher add-on, because it has Hemorrhage and Mangled when you use your M2s on people. So it's not, you have an anti-heal, you have duration, you have the other add-ons, range, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And of course you also have the add-ons that give you undetectable for standing on your trail. You get the other add-on that will show you the aura of people that have torment if you cage somebody. So these add-ons are not necessarily amazing by any means, but to say that there is no variety, I disagree. I mean, there is a lot of variety. Their quality may be questionable, but I would say that there is a level of variety. I mean, you can kind of play it in different ways in that sort of sense. Now, to add on to that, it really also depends on playstyle to a degree. But to be fair as well, we are talking about a character that is essentially a ranged character to a degree, right? He's an anti-looping ability character, and he's also sort of like a ranged character without, you know, the downsides of being slow. Well, he is slow in comparison to the better killers above him, but he still is like a slightly better ranged character because he can't hit through walls, which is very nice, and that does also go for some really interesting shots. He does have like some of the best cosmetics in the game as well. But ultimately, you know, getting into that, at least, like I would have to say, like, he does have some very interesting, you know, add-on choices. So verdict is his add-ons are, just so I can really hammer it home, his add-ons are good. Unironically, like, they are actually good add-ons. You know, and you're probably sitting there thinking, why? Right? Like, why is his add-ons good? How are they actually good? How is it possible that a character like this, who historically is known to have the worst add-ons in the game potentially, could possibly be good? But no, that you really have to think outside the box when it comes to something like this. And it's pretty crazy to say, but you have to think about it this way. This is a character that ultimately focuses on being a better ranged option, right? And because of that, his add-ons kind of follow suit. They boost that type of thing. They have more range or killer instinct. They have more duration. You can recharge it faster. Like, these are all things that surround his ability and surround what his power is, which is as simple as it is. You can cage people, you can shoot your power, and you can hit through walls and hit through other survivors. You can deal damage to multiple survivors. It's a very simple concept. But furthermore, to add on to that, most killers do not have add-on variety. And I drew a couple of examples here as to some characters that do not have very interesting add-on variety. So an example that I would say is Ghostface, right? Like most of his add-ons are very, very just mid or terrible, and you are usually inclined to kind of stay on those add-ons. You really pretty much stick with cooldown. You pretty much always are going to see people run Philly probably, even though I've said many times it's not worth running. We'll talk about that in a different video. But they usually will run a form of cooldown. They usually will run drop like knife sheath pretty much every single game. You'll see that. You'll see the driver's license add-on. So with a character like Ghostface that already does not have a lot of variety, it already does not have a lot of options, you can kind of assume that there are other characters that do have add-on variety, but a lot of them do not. All right. Another example I would say is Deathslinger, as you can see on the bottom left there with the gun, little arrow sticking out of it. With Deathslinger is another example where most of the add-ons are not that interesting or not that useful. I mean, you have stuff for deep wound and you have stuff for just reload, and then you have one that's like exposed or whatever that people use, and that's it. Like nobody really cares or uses the other add-ons unless they're just playing around, and you're still just asking not to win your games anyway. Which means that when people do play Deathslinger, they're going to apply reload, they're going to apply cigar, or they're going to apply those things, which once again mirrors Pyramid Head. You can either run your duration or range, you can run double range, you can run things that obviously boost your power, and that's what most people want to do anyway. Another character I have on here is Freddy, you know what I'm saying, which I can talk a little bit about old Freddy. Like old Freddy had barely any add-on options at all. His add-ons were pretty much you needed paintbrush every single game, and then you can use Dream Palette, and then that was it. That was how I would run it, and there was no add-on variety back then. Nowadays he does have some add-on variety, but most people are not going to be running most of the add-ons. You're going to see jump rope, and you're going to see the paint thinner, because you want more range on your Dream Palettes, and you want more hinder duration, because his hindered is only 13.5%, so it's not that long, it's not that powerful. So you need at least duration means that you might be able to catch them out in the open and be able to get your hit. So even nowadays, his add-on variation is not very interesting. Another example is Chucky. Another character where you pretty much have to run jump rope to really get the maximum potential power, and then either that or you're running the drill, or you're running the shaving purple add-on with the sloppy butcher effect, and that's kind of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's all you really run, because those other add-ons that he has are just not worth running. So Pyramid Head being considered the worst character, like with the worst add-ons, I would have to disagree. Mainly because like there's just other characters that ultimately just have terrible add-on variety as it is. A vast majority of killers, even Weskers, like you'll see they run the gloves and the egg pretty much all the time. There's no reason to run anything else. You can boil it down like that to a vast majority of characters that, you know, most of the killers really do not have add-on variety in the first place. I think the only one that I can say that comes to mind would probably be Springtrap, and before his release, I would say what I've seen with add-ons, his add-ons completely changed the way he uses abilities. I can't say the same for other killers that we know about in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe Freddy you can make a case, but you know, when it comes to Slinger, you know, like those add-ons are not even worth running, and then that logic still applies to the Pyramid Head as well. You could run duration or recharge, and it doesn't matter. You can run range, and you'll notice a difference, and then you could run the sloppy butcher one, and that also can help you too. And duration is really good though, as well. You can run duration and range, and that's a good combo as well. And I do believe that the reason that we see like add-ons like these, the reason that we see you know, add-ons that are more simple and pretty terrible is because their abilities are so straightforward. Like and I even throw in Ghostface as well, because as somebody who's played Ghostface for as long as I have, there really is not a lot of options, especially when you get up into the toughest teams that you can get your hand, like you could really go up against, like very coordinated teams and things like that. The only thing that you're going to really notice a difference in is cooldown, and potentially something to help you speed up when you mark people, because you know they like, just because of how it works with Ghostface, you do have to stop and hold down your stock, which means they have enough time to start making a better position. Or if you're able to try to catch them off guard, a lot of the time they can just chain it to something nearby, like a window or a pallet or something, and then you still may not be able to get them anyway. And having that haste potentially could allow you to open up the opportunity to get those downs that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And that's more of a Ghostface problem, as we know, but still. Ultimately, there's a lot of other killers in this game. You could probably name them in the comments if you agree. Other characters that do not have much variety in terms of in terms of power and stuff like that, that kind of make people kind of sick to certain add-ons. And so let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments. Support the channel with the links in the description. Follow on Twitch to watch Play Kiddo live. And let me know if you want to see more videos like this talking about, you know, just different topics like this, you know, with my little my drawings here. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, man. And let me know what you guys think in the comments.